Let's go, girls. Welcome to Talk Wealthy to Me. I'm Chantal Taylor, founder of Women in Wealth. From breaking money myths to building wealth and achieving financial freedom, we're here to empower you to create your own path. Talk Wealthy. Now, join the conversation and let's change the way women think and feel about money. Okay, ready? Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Talk Wealthy to Me. I'm your host, Chantal Taylor, and today I have a amazing woman of all trades with me, Chantal, or as she likes to be called, Chanti. She is in the commercial banking space. She is a foodie and influencer that is very well known here in Central Florida and a host of her own podcast. It's going to be impossible for you to watch and listen to this and not have something to take away from it that will impact your life. So buckle up. She is so much fun and we are spilling all of the tea. Chantal, thank you so much for coming on the show. I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So, okay, for anybody that has lived in Orlando or Central Florida for more than 5 seconds, they've come across you, what you do.
I would hope so.
You're all over the place around here. So tell the audience a little bit about you and what you do.
Okay. So, hi, my name is Chantal, or in Spanish, Chantal. I am a commercial banker. It's like my hidden secret, but that's how I afford my lifestyle. I also have a food blog, however you want to call it, for Instagram. I'm all over social media as Let's Try This con Chanti. And I also have a podcast talking to people about, their journeys as immigrants to the U.S.
So lots going on. Many hats.
Lots going on.
And that's how, and we've known each other for years. And I think before the show, we just kind of said, I said last year. And you said, no, it's like 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Time flies. But I have loved watching everything that you're doing. And you're such a big energy and, charismatic. And you just draw people in. And I think that everyone is going to learn so much from you. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start on the corporate side of, the banking?
I'm ready to shock people every time, every day, because a lot of people just see me stuffing my face, but actually
that's what you do.
Yeah, but I'm such a numbers person and I say it, but I don't show that aspect of myself that much. So,
well, let's start there then. How did you find yourself in the world of commercial banking?
One of the coolest things and weirdest things, I'm a 4th generation banker.
Okay, that's unheard of.
I know.
I'm a 3rd generation Floridian, so we're like unicorns,
Yeah.
Okay, so did you always want to go into banking?
No, I thought I was going to rebel. I'm going to be so cool and artsy. I'm going to do my own thing. And like you said, I'm very charismatic. I love people. Mm-hmm. Why would I do banking? And then I needed a job. And guess what? I was so good at those interviews because since I was 12, my parents, when they said I couldn't have a toy or something, I started figuring out what if I can make money. And I had internships since I was 12. I made money. I had my own jewelry business when I was 12.
It's amazing.
So then I just realized, well, I need to make money to afford cute, pretty things.
And here we are.
Correct.
Okay, so tell me why you started your business at 12 years old. Was it to buy things or was it because you wanted a creative outlet?
Honestly, I've always been creative, but I feel like my parents said that I always wanted everything.
Yeah.
And they had to, and I'm the oldest child, their first child.
Oh.
Of course, they wanted to give me everything, but they're like young, they're 24 when they had me 24. So imagine they're not even 30 and here I am like wanting everything.
Yep.
So it broke their heart to say no, but they had to put boundaries. And as I got older, I just, I apparently always wanted more until I was old enough in their eyes to work. And I mean, the first time I remember, I just went to a summer camp and I loved being creative and I loved jewelry.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, so cool. And then I told them if they could help me buy, because I learned I learned to make it, but if they could take me to buy all the tools I needed. And they said, oh yeah, we'll take you. My uncle took me, I remember. And then I wanted more. And they're like, no. Like, this is like a one-time thing. So then I just...
How do I get money?
Well, I just realized whatever I made with it practicing,
you're going to sell.
I sold it. So then I was like, well, I have money to buy more. Can you take me?
And an entrepreneur was born.
Yes.
You know what's so funny? My 10-year-old son has friends that were hustling at school and would bring snacks and candy, and they were selling it at school. And I hope Helen is listening, because when she told me this story,
I was one of those kids.
Yeah, she said, "Can you believe this? The school called and they're like, they can't do this." And she's telling me the story, and I said, "I'm so proud of them. That's amazing." But yeah, you have to encourage that, because you don't always see it at a young age. So when you do,
I know,
buckle up, because you're in for a long ride.
I know.
But that's a good thing.
I know. It was fun because like I didn't know how to price. I was 12.
No. Yeah.
And my dad, I remember, built me an Excel file.
Oh my gosh.
This in our home computer. The one that if you picked up the phone, like the internet dropped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that time. And he built an Excel file and he said, Chanti, you put all the materials, you see how much it costs. And then I said, and then here is a percentage is for your labor, it's for your time.
Wow.
And then at the end is the price. That's how the total price that you tell people. So he started like teaching me how to price it. And it's so funny as a kid, like I didn't know what labor meant.
Mm-hmm. Because you were just doing it because you liked it and you're having fun.
But after a few months, I was like, Dad,
my time is worth
No, I said, I increased the number because these ones, they take hours. Like my eyes hurt. And my dad literally was like dying. He said, wow, this is what? Cost of labor. You're understanding that. And I had no idea. But in my mind, I'm like, I put in more because this one took me longer to make.
I love this though. So was your dad the banker or was your mom?
My dad.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. But to this day, I put everything on Excel.
I do too. I still, when people ask me, oh, what's the best app to track this or this? I mean, I have opinions based on what I know from other clients, but the reality is I'm an Excel girl or pen and paper. I just keep it easy, you know?
Yeah. To this day, Excel is my friend.
Okay. So you made the bracelets. You realized what that all meant.
What? No, but here's the best part. I started making and then taking orders and like word got out and then I would go with my grandma and my dad to this really not so safe part of the city because it was where the big warehouses and they had everything.
It was less expensive.
Yes.
I love it.
Because I remember in the middle of the city where I lived in Dominican Republic, they had one stone. I will never forget this. It was 24 pesos. And then we went to this side where the warehouse is, where nobody goes. And then we had a whole bag for 200. And I did the math and then I was having it for like half a peso. And in the city, they were 24 each. So of course, after that, I would go every Saturday. My grandma or my dad would take me and my mom. And of course, such a kid, I became an icon in those stores because everybody knew the little kid that comes and picks out with their family. It was so funny. And the not so safe became safe because they all loved me.
Yes. Okay. So how long did you do this?
For 6 years. Oh, actually 6 years consistently because then I went to college and then I did it sporadically a couple more years.
Oh my gosh. Mm-hmm. Okay. So that girl, did she want to grow up and be an entrepreneur?
I feel like I was creative. But I wanted things, but I didn't necessarily I didn't need that much. I love the thrill of the deal of making something. Mm-hmm. But then what am I going to do? Have 100 necklaces in my house, you know? Mm-hmm. So then I loved, like you said, I love making people feel good and feel pretty. I love that. So I would come and be like, oh, style it this way, put it this way. And I would love it. Or people would be like, I have a wedding and I would make it to fit the style of the dress for the wedding, things like that.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so then how you just went in for these, how did you end up in banking?
Well,
Went to college.
Well, since I was doing the jewelry, but I also was doing internships at the bank where my dad worked.
Okay.
And at first it was customer service over the phone because they didn't want to show how young I was.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I was a little bit older, I was wearing like a suit and they made me wear makeup and I look a little bit older, but I was very young.
Oh my gosh.
But I was very good with customer service. I always loved customer service, client facing, talking to people. And I started doing retail loans. So they taught me how to do everything. That was my favorite job that I did in retail banking. I was making car loans. My favorite job.
Okay. So I have a question. Based on what you know, if someone out there has never been in that world, myself included, when you're applying for a loan, like, what is that one thing that if you see it and you're like, oh, absolutely not? Or like, what are some like behind the curtain secrets of retail lending? I mean,
a lot of times, especially W-2 is king, is amazing, which is a double-edged sword because you have a predetermined salary. So it's not like you're not in control of your time.
Right.
You cannot grow at the pace that you maybe want to grow. But at the same time, for loans and things like that,
it's perfect.
Mm-hmm. Because back to the Excel, you can plug it in, make a calculation, boom. In 1 second,
stable.
Yes. And if you can afford it or not. Exactly. But then you have people that do all kinds of like cool jobs, but they're seasonal or they're by projects. But at the same time, they have more income. But it's just so lumpy that people see it as more risky. Like you made a project and you earn this, but tomorrow we don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And it requires a little more explanation. And it's like, I think it's tough because what is that message sending,
I know.
And sadly, finance works like that, but I just think it sends the wrong message that somebody that is an entrepreneur that's doing cool projects, that is passionate about certain things is riskier. When in reality, I think they're going to put more of their time and they're not. And
they're going to go after it and they're going to make sure, and they have the control where if they want something or if a project ends, they have the ability to go out and quickly find another one. I know.
Or evolve or transform it or triple it, versus the other one is just like more linear. But
okay, so from the space you were in and are in, what do you think is the best thing you've learned about money from being in that space?
Well, until today, or just the part that we discussed?
No, until today. Just in general, from the banking world, what do you think is the best thing you've learned?
The best thing I've learned is that you just have to have your finances in order.
Mm-hmm.
And if
clean front step.
Yes. If I look at your financials and I need to ask you questions and I have to explain, it doesn't help your case.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times people think like because of saving taxes, doing this, they don't record certain things, they do it in cash, or
it's trickier.
Or they want to pay less taxes, so they add additional personal expenses onto the business to lower their tax liability. But guess what? That also lowers your capacity
to borrow.
Exactly.
I talk to, on the consulting side, clients about this all the time because you have to ask yourself, does it make more sense to spend $1 to save 30 cents? In some years it may. But in other years, I just went through this with a client that said, I want to get really, I want to be aggressive on tax planning. And we can do that. But then in 6 months, they want to buy a house. So you have to have that conversation. Mm-hmm. And it's a balance and a dance. And that's why I tell people all the time that when you are building out your financial board of directors, if you will, they have got to talk to each other because your tax strategist and your wealth manager may be going after different things. The banking relationship, it has to be cohesive because it's give and take. There's pros and cons every year that you have to weigh through.
I agree.
Okay, so being organized is very important. And
Okay, so how did you go from retail to commercial, and which one do you like better?
So for a young age, doing car loans, I think was super fun. And even through college, I went to college in Virginia, and now we'd go back to Dominican Republic, and my dad's like, we're strapped for staff. Can you just jump on the line? And they had like events or things, and I would just jump in and do loans. I loved it. And walking people through, this is your interest rate, this is your thing, these are your documents. Does everything look good? And I would make sure the person signed. Like you're a
closer.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Tough person, sit them here.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, so then I went to college, and I was still in that phase. I'm like, I'm going to do something different. But then I ended up not realizing what I specifically wanted, because I had a lot of exposure in banking, but I didn't know what specific position.
Mm-hmm.
But then I found BB&T at that time had a leadership development program. So I didn't have to choose. And I was like, perfect. I just go to this leadership program. I get a taste of banking for 6 months. And then hopefully after that,
you'll know where you want to be.
Yeah, I can nail down what position, what I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And that program led me to be like a commercial analyst. And that was my my way, the path into commercial banking. Because after that, I was a commercial analyst, then a commercial underwriter, and then a commercial lender or banker.
Well, and I know that this goes without saying for you, but because it's your world, but for anybody listening, how often do you see people build personal wealth when it doesn't include real estate in general?
I have this debate a lot because there's so many realtors, way too many, that I think the market is saturated, but I know that's not the point. And they all think building wealth is real estate. And I'm like, no, you can build wealth through the S&P. You can buy
lots of ways.
Yes, you can buy, you can do other things that don't necessarily include real estate. You can have different projects. You can have a company. You can integrate something vertically and own the whole process, own a specific market. You can do so many things.
But it is a great
I'm not saying
a great path, but it's not the only path.
It's not the only path.
Yeah. And I think that it's a path that allows for people to get creative with taxes or with, hey, this is going to be a personal vacation home. And, we don't want to do that anymore. So now we're going to rent it out or whatever. So I think, but you get to see it firsthand, especially in commercial.
Well, in commercial, you see people making money out of so many different things that you're just like,
whoa,
wow, mind blown. Like, I didn't know you could make 50 million out of this thing.
Mm-hmm. I know.
You know?
Blows your mind until you see it. And then when you see it and you realize it, it's like so much in life.
There's a huge company right here that people probably never heard of, don't even know. And they just do bottle caps. Literally bottle caps for like your Snapple, some of your sodas.
And they're here?
Yes. And that's all they do. You'll be mind blown. You like a bottle cap? And they just have two different sizes. That's it.
Wow.
It like blows your mind.
Okay. So before I start asking you to divulge information, you probably can't. Okay. So
Sure.
you work your 9 to 5.
I just wanted to put it in perspective.
Yeah. I love it. So you work your 9 to 5 and then you come home and you like take off that hat and then you put on the other hat. Tell everybody, because you guys, I mean, if you are a foodie, there's no way you don't know her account. There's no way. New restaurants, if someone tells me something, so often I'll go to your page and see if you've been there. But what led you down that path?
Perfect, because my two worlds collide. So I love you, Four Rivers, but when I first came here, most of my clients wanted to eat at Four Rivers. And after eating
like for client lunches and all that. Okay. Yeah.
And after going there, I remember there was 2 weeks in a row that I went there 3 times a week. And I said, I'm going to become a barbecue. I was starting to hate it.
And what I was going to say, as for anybody that's listening that isn't local to Central Florida, that is a restaurant it's very barbecue, Southern. There's not diversification on the menu. I mean, it's
Correct.
Really just in one
lane. And it's just like a safe choice, you know, and they have a couple locations that are very convenient. I'm not, I understand. I'm about convenience, but no one is food. So I'm new to the area, and this is where there was one in downtown. Like literally everywhere I go, there was one. And I was like, I can't. And I said, no. So I had told my coworkers that I didn't ask to be in Orlando. The bank has sent me. So they're like, we're going to make you like Orlando. So they started taking me places. So then I started recording, taking pictures of everything and paying attention also, so that when clients ask, I would suggest a place before they picked.
Oh, that's true. And also just because you didn't know the area. So it was,
correct.
you know,
so I would just originally
help them.
Correct. Originally, I went with what they said because I didn't know Orlando. But then I started taking pictures, taking notes. Like I would, anywhere I would go drive, like that hat, anything, I would just like, and then people like, oh my God, you know so many restaurants and places. Like you should put it somewhere so we don't have to bug you and text you or whatever, put it somewhere. And that's when I started Instagram and just put it, let's try this. Because I'm like, well, let's try this Instagram thing. Like,
oh my gosh. That's so cool.
That's how I started it. And to this day.
How many years ago?
7 years ago.
Wow. So, and even, I mean, 7 years ago, Instagram was a different beast.
Very different.
So now it's really evolved. Then. That's it. Mm-hmm. Okay. So how does this work for you? Do you monetize this yet? Mm-hmm. So I think that giving just a little bit of a peek again behind the curtain, I think everybody right now realizes that that is an opportunity for anyone, is to monetize on social. How did you go from this is just suggestions for people to, hey, I've got something real here? How did you, once you decided to monetize it, like what, for someone listening, where do you think you have to be to start monetizing an account? And then what's your first step? Is there like you have to have so many followers or engagement? And then once you do, what's your next thing?
This is a topic that a lot of people always have questions. And first of all, let me say, I have friends that have 4,000 followers that make more money online than friends that have 2 million followers.
So it's not about the follower count.
No, let's get that out of the way. Let's debunk that right there. A lot of people think that, but there's so many ways that you can go about it. If you want to be the face, then you will have to be, more engaged with the audience, then create a connection with people. And then that's when your following count matters a little bit more, because they want things, or they want to try this tea because you had it. They want to buy this microphone because you said that it was good
because
quality.
They like you as the person.
They like you and they saw how you used it and, had a good experience, So, but if you're just, talented, editing, showcasing, thinking of ideas, there's many ways you can sell it to all kinds of brands without having your face, or with your face in it, but not having to post it on your own Instagram if you don't want to.
And you can do that for yourself. And the reason I wanted to unpack this for just a minute is because I talk to the audience all the time about, hey, there are a million ways to make money if you're working towards something or want something different. And this is something that everybody knows about, but not many people know how to do it. So once you realize that you've got a following.
So let's say let's put two scenarios. Let's say you have a following. How I started monetizing or realizing was something, at first, a lot of places started reaching out and you're so excited. You go,
hey, come eat here.
Correct. But like everything, like every corporate job, like every hustle you have, like you start getting burnt out, and you're like, wait a minute, they're benefiting. What am I getting out of it? If your goal is to grow and get followers, maybe yes, take as many. But also, am I taking care of my diet? Am I extra? Am I this? So you start like balancing what is the right amount, what places do I need to say yes, what kind of food connects more with my audience, or which one do I enjoy the most. So then you start, in a second phase, being a little more strategic. And when you reach that, a lot of brands will reach out to you, or some. And for me, what triggered it, I have a finance background, but it was a lot local people. But the first time I remember, it was one of Gordon Ramsay's place. And they asked me for my W-9 and all these things. And I realized, oh my gosh, I need to form a company. I cannot be giving people like all my personal information. I need to create a company and separate it. How am I going to report my taxes? This is a sign that I could grow this. And then I open an LLC, which if you're in Florida, takes 15 minutes, okay?
15 minutes and like $100, $120.
137.
Okay.
I think
Knew it was something like that.
I know. It's gone up a little bit inflation, you know, but yes, less than 150. And so I opened, of course, I knew it. So I went to Sunbiz right away and I did it. And that's when I'm like, oh, there is a path this way. And, you know, you start being a little bit more strategic with what you want, if it's paid or not. On the other hand, if you take another example, let's say you're not growing like crazy, but you have really unique content, you have really nice equipment, you shoot something very particular, you will get approached by brands, or either you get approached by brands, or there's a lot of platforms that connect creators with brands, and you can sign up for them, you can apply for them, and you'll see the campaigns that they have.
Interesting.
And those things are like
easy,
agnostic to following. Like, let's say, oh, this brand of microphone is running a campaign for people that want to have their own podcast. And here I go, Chantal, I apply, I tell them my concept, what I've done, maybe you send links depending on what they ask, you set your rate, and you can send that. It doesn't matter if you have 3 followers on Instagram or 100,000.
Then it's up to them.
It's up to them that your price is right, that they see the quality of the thing. You can send samples, they see other work. Doesn't matter how many followers you have.
And so anybody listening, I did not know about this either. So I'll make sure to get that information and share it in show notes because I mean, I
have friends that they have a drone and they love shooting the drone in their trips, and they get amazing vacation experiences.
Because they're going to shoot footage.
Correct. And a brand that's promoting, you know, an outdoor escape wants to do it. They go, they do the things, and then they just submit it. She can post 3 stories on Instagram if she wants and because she loved it, or she can post nothing, but she'll still get like a big check. And that's the part that I feel like a lot of times people don't see, and a lot of people just get stuck on the how many followers.
You have 1 million followers.
Yeah, and how many followers? No.
Well, and it's great for people that want to do this, because doing this, and I think that we'll talk about this in a second, this takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. It does.
And if it's not something that you enjoy, then find something that can create another income stream that you will enjoy. And there's a million things. Maybe it's making jewelry, but I think ultimately we have never lived in a time like we do right now, where there's endless opportunities, and we just need to talk about them.
I agree. And I mean, let's say Facebook, TikTok, YouTube is a little bit also those that have more ad revenue than some of the other platforms. I have friends that already know they're super funny, and they know if they try to have like a viral video every month, and they know from that they get like a specific big check. And it could be doing whatever random thing,
littlest thing,
is trending or something personal. You never know. So there's so many ways, and it's so easy to get started. And with those, sometimes you don't even need a company. You just put your personal information in a PayPal and it's deposited.
So what is your goal with what you're doing? Is your goal to continue to grow the revenue from your Instagram business? Or is it just that you really enjoy doing it?
I struggle answering that question because I do like the stable job that I know is going to pay.
You're not going to leave to go be an influencer.
I mean, I could, because I know there's
opportunity.
There's a lot of opportunity. And I know that, let's say I don't work in banking tomorrow, I know right away I can reach out to certain people, manage their Instagram, and with that, get a stable income. Like, I already know, like, you know,
if you had to pivot, you know where you'd pivot.
Correct. Correct.
So now, with the income that comes in from officially your side hustle, do you do something fun with that? Do you think, okay, this money I'm going to put straight into an investment, or this money I'm going to put towards vacations only?
Oh, I think production's going to love this answer. So my banking job pays all my bills.
For your life.
Correct. My Instagram lifestyle like food influencer gives me like fun lifestyle, but the money, like the hard money that I earn for it, actually funds my podcast.
And then the podcast,
it's just passion project,
draws people back to Instagram.
I hope so.
So it's
but for now, it's just a black hole passion project.
Mm-hmm.
It's just goodbye every 6 months.
But it allows you.
But there's a huge but there. I struggled with that at the beginning, but I realized and I told myself not everything needs to make me money. And that's okay.
Yeah.
Because I forget sometimes that I do make enough money to live.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're just so used to being like, oh, once you get to this position, you have to keep hustling. But when do we enjoy? So I told myself, it's okay if this is just pure passion.
I love that so much because somebody else's hustle doesn't have to be yours.
Correct.
So you could say, hey, I'm going to take this money and I'm going to go out and buy a Ferrari because that's what the guy sitting next to me is doing. But then for what? Take it. Who cares if it's just going back to a passion project? It's making your life fuller.
Correct.
And that's all that matters.
Correct.
Okay. So where is your dream place that you've never been that you would love to do like a review on for food? Is there like that one place anywhere in the whole world?
Anywhere in the whole world. Well, there is a bar in Japan that I really wanted to go. I don't know if you've seen it. It's a crazy bar in Japan that they do a show with fire and ice on the bar top. And guess what? I booked my flight to Japan. I did all the things. And it happened that when I was there, they were on a random leave for a week.
Okay, that's heartbreaking.
Yes. I wanted to cry. I saw, and they didn't announce it anywhere. I saw that they had like this little sign.
It was like closed.
This little sign on the elevator to get up.
Okay. So with that being said,
I was so sad.
So we're not crying in our coffee for that. But now as that person that how the machine works, what would your next step be? Now you're home, you still want to go to that place. Yeah. Could you not send your account and say, hey, I have a really big following. I'd love to come out there.
Of course I could. Absolutely. But that's one of the things that keep me going. I'm like, I would have to, make more money, have my stable things so that I can go again and afford it. But things like that motivate me. And it's like, you know what? It wasn't meant to be. We'll make sure we keep making money so that we can go another time.
What's your favorite place in Orlando?
Oh my God.
Are you allowed to say?
That is like a loaded question. Every time I shake when people ask me that.
Well, I'm sure it's also hard because you've been to literally so many, and they're so different. So I'll give you a pass on that.
If you ask me like specific cuisine, I could answer.
Or let's say this, what is the most important thing when you're going somewhere? Is it the food? Is it the ambiance? What is it that makes an experience for you special?
Honestly, it depends on the occasion. And that's what's so hard because sometimes I just want to hang out with my girls, catch up, talk about life. I want the place to be pretty. And at that point, please don't criticize me. I don't care if the food's not that great.
But it's just aesthetically beautiful.
Yeah, because I want to feel good. I want to have like some bubbly something and just have a nice conversation with good service. At that point, service is really important because I want to, really connect with somebody and just be taken care of. And that's why I'm not home. Because home, I would be taking care of it myself. I want somebody to take care of it. But if I really, want to, an important night or I want to try a new cuisine or something, I want to make sure that the food just blows it out of the water and I don't care how it looks.
Have you ever been somewhere where they come over and recognize you and say, please, this is on us or anything like that? I'm sure it happens all the time.
It's happened, yeah. But sometimes it's a little bit annoying because
sometimes you're like, I don't want to take pictures. I just want to eat dinner.
Correct. Like I came with somebody and now it's awkward because like maybe I didn't come with like the proper equipment because I came with like a cute really purse. I didn't bring a light. I didn't bring anything and then also, what if I'm on a date? What if I'm like just relaxing, Yeah. I'm like, I don't want to just actually then turn on and have to work.
It's so interesting.
I know.
Really. Everything comes with pros and cons.
Everything.
So what do you think, for anyone listening, is a little tidbit that they can take with them on like the best thing that they can do for themselves financially and the worst thing that maybe you've done or haven't done or that you've seen? Like any example. But what do you think, if you could give advice to yourself 5 years ago, what would have been something that you should do with money and that you shouldn't do with money?
Oof. Luckily, I haven't made huge, big money mistakes. Shout out to my father for ingraining that since I was young.
Dads.
Yeah, since I was young. He's very strong, but it worked out.
Yeah.
But I would say the best one would be make sure you take care of your credit score. I don't care what's the story.
Like it's your reputation.
You have
because it is.
I understand life happens, but just take care of it. Because I can have all the empathy in the world for you, but at the end of the day, the financial system just sees a number and the story is
black and
enough.
white. Yep.
And it's sad because sometimes you see a divorce happen, a death happen or something, but you just have to take care of your FICO score, your credit score, however you want to call it, your credit report. It just needs to be clean.
I don't even know how to emphasize what you just said enough, because I know that you know a little bit, but I made silly mistakes. I mean, nothing crazy. And those little things like, oh, you had a missed car payment in 2007 by 34 days. And you're like, I'm 30. You guys are asking about this 10 years ago. And it follows you around for the rest of your life. So that's great advice.
Yeah. And then I would say the worst way, that was like
what's one thing that they shouldn't do? Or like the biggest mistake that you see people make with money?
The biggest mistake, a lot of times, I would say, I work with larger companies, but when I do work or I come across a lot of small businesses, it's just like just doing things in cash or underreporting. Like, I'm sorry, they told you cash is king. That was like 30 years ago. It's not king today. Yes, you need liquidity, but not in cash.
I was going to say, I think we can change it to liquidity is king, having access.
Yes, having access to funds, but not in cash. Because people think, oh, I have it in cash, I don't have to pay. No, sir. If cash is a lot, you need to do cash pickup, which costs money. What's the alternative? Take credit card. You pay a percentage. Either way, you're paying for it. It costs money.
There's no way to get it out. Get out of here.
It costs money
for free.
Just exactly. People think, and especially, sadly, in a lot of Latino community, I can speak for it, that they can go around the system and just no. You have to just pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it costs money to handle cash. Just accept it. It's part of doing business.
Okay. That's great advice.
Because I've seen people then get kicked out of banks, get door shut because they didn't handle money properly. And their business was doing great. But the way they handle, then somebody closed the door. Because here's the thing, in banking, if I don't know where your funds come from, I'm not going to vouch for you.
Mm-mm.
And it's easier for a bank just to shut down your accounts than them having to explain to regulators like where that money came from. The regulation is so heavy in the financial industry.
It's wild.
It's so wild that I can't explain it, I would rather just end the relationship. And people don't understand how serious that is.
Well, I'll tell you what, I think I mentioned to you, I lost my dad about 8 weeks ago, and he was like my best friend, my mentor in business, all of these things, right? And I will never forget having this conversation with him because he was old school. So he would like have cash and he'd always say, squirrel it away, save it away. And at one point, I remember, and I can say this now because he's passed away, but there was a time when he had an obscene amount of cash.
And then you were going to use it. And then people are like, where did that come from?
Where did it come from?
Exactly.
And you can't. I want to go put this into an investment. Okay. Yes, sir. Where did it come from? And it's so hard. So there's a balance, right? I think that there's some truth to everything. And then you just have to figure it out. But that's why you need to find smart people to help you find the balance.
Yeah.
And I know we're coming close on time, but I do want to ask about your podcast because I think that it's amazing. So tell us the podcast, what's it called? What's it about? Why is it important to you?
I thank you. So literally great segue into that because I do with a lot of minorities and people and immigrants that came to this country. So it's called Chisme con Chanti. And Let's Chisme is kind of like Let's Gossip. Chisme is gossip. And I love that people that are not Spanish speakers are saying chisme. It's been one of my favorite things from this project. It literally, I smirk every time I see somebody that is not Spanish speaking saying chisme.
Because we would butcher it. That's why I asked you to say the name of it, because
but a lot of people are learning it and using chisme as, not translating it. And I love it.
Okay.
So it's called Chisme con Chanti, and that chisme or that gossip would be kind of like the behind the scenes stories that you don't see funny enough on Instagram, where I actually built my audience. And here we're unpacking the behind the scenes of a lot of people. How did you get to where you are? Kind of like we did today, and all the struggles that we don't see. And it's a lot of Latinos, just because I have a softer spot. And it was that one project where I've spoken more Spanish, because before everything I did in English, and a lot of people didn't even know, like, do you speak Spanish? How good is it? Like, so it's been very rewarding. But I've also had, some business owners that through my social media and through Let's Try This, I've built good relationships, and I wanted to showcase their story. And it's been really rewarding.
That's awesome. So as we wrap this up, because we could go on forever, tell the audience where they can find you, where they can follow, and what's next, if there's anything big and exciting happening.
Perfect. So Chantal, but my nickname is Chanti. And then all the socials became Let's Try This con Chanti, where we try things and eat things, and Let's Chisme con Chanti, where we talk about things. Okay. There you go. And if you plug in those anywhere,
it's coming up.
You'll find me. Okay. Absolutely. And then coming up, I would say I'm exploring more with travel content and been loving it. It doesn't do as well. It doesn't perform, but it's another thing that just brings me joy. And I'm experimenting more with it. So I will see where that takes me.
Well, I'm going to share all of those for anybody that might not know how to spell it, myself included. I'm going to share all of that in the show notes. I am always so impressed when I have guests on and hear their stories, but I think that you are doing so many things. There's no way that people that are listening didn't take something from this. And I think that's the whole point. I, as always, so appreciate you guys for spending a bit of your time with me. And until next time, let's keep changing the way women think and feel about money.